Okay, let's dive in. Today we're tackling something super specific, but honestly, really crucial for RC builders. That first cut you make on a brand new polycarbonate body shell. You know, the Lexan ones for Tamiya, Kyosho, associated kits. Get it wrong, especially on a vintage shell, and, well, it's
Yeah.
painful.
Oh, absolutely painful because grabbing, say, your kitchen scissors, that's usually step one towards ruining it. See, standard scissors, they don't really cut the plastic cleanly. They tend to crush and tear it.
Right, and you get that awful whitened edge.
Exactly, that stressed look. It weakens the edge right away, and it just looks terrible. It's a setup for cracks later on, a disaster waiting to happen, really.
Okay, so this isn't just about finding sharp scissors. It's deeper than that. Our mission here is to shortcut you past the trial and error. We want to look at the tools, the right tools, and the techniques to nail that perfect cut from the get-go. So let's start with the basics. The blade itself. What makes a good RC scissor blade? Why not just the cheapest stainless steel?
Well, it comes down to the grade of steel. You'll see high-end RC scissors mentioning things like 420J2 stainless, and that's not just marketing fluff. That specific grade, it's chosen for how well it holds an edge. Better edge retention means it stays sharper, longer.
Okay, better steel. Makes sense. And what about coatings? I often see that gold color on blades. Titanium nitride, right? Tinai. Sounds very high-tech. Is it just for looks, or?
No, it's definitely functional. That tie-dye coating, it does two key things. Makes the surface much harder, and crucially, it reduces friction.
Reduces friction. Why is that so important when cutting plastic?
Because polycarbonate can be a bit sticky, especially as the blade moves through it. Less friction means the blade glides smoothly. It prevents sticking, binding, and that sort of micro-tearing you get with a rough cut. You get a cleaner slice.
Gotcha. Smooth slicing, not tearing. Now, you can have the best blades, but the tool itself needs to work.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the shape. Those dedicated RC scissors always have that noticeable curve. Why not just use straight ones?
Ah, the curve. That's absolutely key, especially for things like wheel wells or complex body contours. It lets you keep a natural wrist angle while following that curve.
Oh, I see. So you're not fighting the tool.
Exactly. With straight scissors, the tips tend to dig into the plastic as you turn the corner. That digging action, that's how you start tiny cracks. The curve avoids that.
Okay, curve prevents digging. What about the pivot, where the blades join? I've used cheap scissors where the whole thing just feels wobbly.
Yes, that pivot point is critical for the shearing action. You need it to be snug, really solid. If there's play, if the plastic and metal flex, the blades can actually separate slightly under pressure.
And then it doesn't cut cleanly.
Right. It folds or tears the material instead of shearing it. You lose that clean slice. So mechanical integrity, a tight pivot, it's non-negotiable for a good tool.
All right, let's talk brands. In the RC community, you hear a lot about the team-associated factory team scissors, the ASC 1737 ones. Are they really the benchmark?
They seem to be, yeah. The feedback is consistently positive. People say they cut like butter, super sharp. You know, it seems like a very safe, high-confidence buy.
But they're not the only game in town.
Definitely not. Kyosho KRF scissors, for instance, have this legendary reputation for just lasting forever. We found comments from hobbyists saying, you know, bought a pair in like 92, they still work fine. Decades of use.
Wow, that's impressive durability. Now, speaking of brands, Tamiya. They make fantastic tools, but there's a potential pitfall, right? An important warning.
A very important one, yes. Tamiya makes excellent RC body scissors, the 74005 model. They're great. But they also make smaller curved scissors, the 74151, intended for mini 4WD cars. And those explicitly say, not for use on RC model bodies.
So using the wrong Tamiya pair could wreck your shell.
Absolutely. The blades aren't designed for the thicker Lexim. You'll damage the scissors and, much worse, you risk damaging that expensive body shell. Always check the part number.
Good tip. So, okay, we've covered specialized scissors, but getting a pro finish, it sounds like it's more than just having one good pair of curved scissors.
Exactly right. It's really about having a small toolkit approach. Those curved scissors are great for curves, obviously, but they're actually not ideal for long, straight cuts.
So what do you use for straight lines?
That's where the score and snap technique comes in. You use a sharp hobby knife, like an X-Acto with a fresh #11 blade. Just lightly score the cut line, maybe a couple of passes, then gently dend the plastic. It snaps cleanly right along the score. Perfect straight edge.
Okay, score and snap for straights. What about those perfect circles for wheel wells? Freehanding, that seems impossible.
It pretty much is if you want it perfect. The real game changer tool there is something like an Olfa circle cutter. You set the radius, score the circle, make a few small relief cuts from the edge inwards to the scored circle, and then the waste material just snaps out cleanly.
Nice. So scissors, knife, circle cutter. Is there a good starting bundle? A smart money option?
Yeah, actually. The Duratrax three-piece set, the DTXR Level 160, often gets mentioned as a real steal. It usually includes good curved scissors, straight scissors, which some people prefer for certain tasks, and a body reamer, which users often say is one of the best out there, all for a pretty budget price.
So it sounds like the takeaway for you, the listener, is that serious RC bodywork needs a system. Not just one tool. You need those quality curved scissors, yes, but also a hobby knife for clean, straight lines, maybe a circle cutter or a reamer for finishing touches.
Precisely. It's an integrated toolkit. Now, here's something to think about, a final thought maybe. We see tools out there that look identical. Same shape, same color, but sometimes they perform wildly differently, often due to, silent manufacturing changes or different brands using the same OEM factory, but maybe with different quality control specs. So
Right.
given that, what does that tell you about the real value of investing in a brand's reputation? That trust in their consistency and quality control rather than just grabbing the cheapest lookalike off the shelf. Maybe that brand loyalty is actually buying you some insurance for your next irreplaceable shell.